large organizations want to make sure that they're leveraging telematics and other tools to ensure that the driver is compliant. And then of course, they just want to make sure that they implement driver safety, driver training, and set certain standards within the organization. So when they bring on new employees, as well as existing employees, they understand, what the sort of targets are for the organization in terms of safety standards. They're concerned more than ever with safety and risk. Of course, they want to make sure that they're protecting their employees. They want to make sure they're protecting the organization against risk and potential issues with legal costs. And of course, they definitely want to make sure that in many ways, that they're doing the right thing. They've got their brands on these vehicles. They want to make sure that their brand is associated with positive driving, positive experience on the roads. And obviously, the vehicles themselves are a significant investment in capital. They want to make sure that they protect the business against that as well. All fleets should get some level of advice, and I think the majority of them do. I think they're benchmarking themselves against other fleets. They're getting outside advice in terms of best practice, how to make sure that whether they're in specific types of vehicles, whether those are like large trucks or whether those are not even on the roads. Like we have customers who operate in big plant and big quarries and that sort of thing. They put extensive investment and measures in place to make sure that the drivers and the conditions that they're working in are going to be conducive to good quality, safe driving. The difference between the good providers and the better providers is that some organizations will have very innovative ways of ensuring that the customer has a sustainable model that they can use to manage that information. There's people who print out reports and then do individual driver debriefs, and those certainly for some organizations can be very effective. For example, we use a lot of mobile technology. We use a self-assessment model where, very similar to, kind of running a Fitbit on your arm. It's really you that goes in and looks at your data and, will have a personal view as to whether you've done better today than you did yesterday. And that's true for driving information as well. That takes a huge overhead away from the managers that are there to try and implement these technologies or processes. And then, again, leveraging, the mobile applications, kind of dashboard type solutions within the phone to provide, coaching apps for the managers so they can actually then look at their own team's performance and measure where they must implement some additional training or additional management or coaching for their employees. Fleet operators are certainly measuring return on investment in very similar ways. Of course, reduction of cost, and for fleet operators there will be some ongoing costs like fuel. Those are typically very, very fundamental to their business case. There'll be operational maintenance of the vehicles themselves. They can actually improve the driving behavior. They will absolutely reduce the maintenance costs of those vehicles. If they improve the risk profile of those drivers, then of course they will reduce downtime through vehicles getting fixed through accidents. They'll reduce costs of insurance premiums. Those can certainly be some of the fundamental opportunities for business case on ROI. Verizon Connect has many solutions that are focused on safety and compliance. It's a critical requirement for all our customers. We very quickly saw an opportunity to leverage mobile technology, mobile applications basically, and provide the driver with an opportunity to measure their own performance. Driving is a very personal conversation to have with someone, and it's also a very critical conversation to have with someone. It can bring a lot of stress and a lot of issues within the workplace, create a lot of disruption. So putting the tools and the responsibility on the end driver to say, listen, here is a performance index. You can measure this against yourself. You know how you're driving in the vehicles. We'll put an in-cab alert, so if you break a threshold, you'll be notified in real time that that's happened, so you can understand where you can improve. So using a mobile app which allows the end driver to then self-assess, manage and measure how he's driven, and then make the incremental improvements, has been a positive experience with our customers.